All right, Maul. Tis time. Tis time. We are going to be getting into, let's see, Taylor Bickett today. The Crime. Have we done Taylor Bickett? I don't know if we have. This name is not sounding familiar. But Maul did tell me on the front side this is going to be more of like a serious subject matter song, so definitely going to put my pay attention eyes on. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Maul for bringing this one to the channel today. The Crime. How old is this? It's new, right? Oh, it's from a year ago. Okay, so it's been out for a little bit. All right, let's check it out. I already saw that there was a little message at the beginning, so I have a feeling it's going to be definitely serious. That is a crazy statistic already. 1 in 3. 1 in 3. That is nuts. That pretty much means that like almost every like woman you encounter, almost, very close to almost all, you know what I mean? There's a good chance where that they have experienced some sort of violence in their lifetime. Is absolutely insane. All right, well, like I said, I'm getting a little too ahead of myself, I think, today. Let's go. Let's just check it out. Shut up, Johnny. Just play the song.
I think about you when I'm trying to sleep. Who did what to you to then do that to me? I find a glimpse of you on every street, in every white sedan, in every man I see. I watch you floating in my free drink, hear the loose thread of a no-string situation, a midnight altercation. I hear you echo in a white night in a frat house with the lights off in a basement, a game I wasn't playing but still lost. The crime of being alive, the crime of catching your eye, not being meek and polite and smiling back at you, the crime of walking alone half a block from home, my scarlet letter, your stones, the pointless blood they drew, a split second of judgment, and I'm still being punished, the crime of being a woman.
Oh my God. I feel it's giving me the goosebumps immediately. I can already kind of feel it in my soul because it's just a very deep subject matter, right? So I want to go through some of the lyrics. I have a lot of thoughts here. I think about you when I'm trying to sleep. Who did what to you to do that? To then do that to me? That was at the first line of the song. I feel like is always really important, really in general, but like immediately it already kind of told you like what the tempo and like not the tempo, but like what kind of time we were on today when it comes to the lyrical side of it. Like extremely sobering, like immediately. Who did that to you to then go do that to me? Wait, I really liked that line because I feel like that is it ties together to the concept that hurt people. You know what I mean? That normally like it's the people who have been hurt by somebody else that also end up doing hurt to somebody else, right? Like it doesn't just come kind of out of nowhere. I find a glimpse of you on every street, in every white sedan, and every man I see. I watch you floating in my free drink. You're the loose thread of a no-string situation. Jesus. You're the loose thread of a no-string situation. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I watch you floating in my free drink. I find a glimpse of you in every man I see, in every white sedan, and every man. I find you a glimpse of you on every street, and every white sedan, and every man I see. That directly is tying to the concept of basically like just like the ongoing continual trauma after the event. And then like the floating in my free drink thing, where it's, you know, the concept of this entire thing of like this crime of being a woman. These are just like listing out a bunch of experiences or all of one occasion. You know what I mean? Where like it's all in this written in this way where it's all very relatable to someone who has also been through this somewhat of the same experiences, right? And especially as for the women of the world, where guys don't get bought. Nobody buys guys drinks. You know what I mean? Your buddy or your boss buys you a drink. You know what I mean? And it's normally to flex on you. You know what I'm saying? Women get free drinks all the time because guys want something from them. It's buying somebody a drink is, if anything, it's not always like there's always something that comes along with that. Does that make sense? So that really is like no matter who. So think about that, fellas, when you want to offer to buy a girl a drink. Think about how you feel when people do it for you. It is a nice gesture, though. It can be. I'm not trying to say that nobody should buy people drinks. You know what I'm saying? But this whole like, can I just pass you this drink thing? And to me, it made me think about the free drink that like a lot of times there's the worry that something else is inside of that drink. That's what it made me immediately think of. The fact that it wasn't even just like a free drink. It was that drink came with something else in it. You know what I mean? Which I don't think guys, again, ever think about. It's not something that we worry about. It's not something I think that guys are like, yo, watch my drink. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want anything to accidentally end up in it. You know what I mean? This is like the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the blunt truth of how, like, between the male and female ratio, like the perspective of how we see and view the world are very different things. A midnight altercation, I hear you echo in a why not? That like immediately, like I said, I feel like a lot of the lyrics in this one are extremely like blunt to the point with like the pressure that guys will put on women to have sex with them. You know what I mean? Because if they want to, like, it's happening. You know what I mean? And like, there's a lot of like, well, it's crazy, man. It's really crazy because this is so, like I said, I feel like this is so much of the every woman experience, right? Again, as I said, one in three women have faced the actual violence part of it. You know what I mean? Not every example, and this is going to be specifically like, oh, it's happened to every single woman out there, but like there's somewhere in here they all know. You know what I mean? Like, yep, I know. The whole like, why not thing. Well, why don't you? Why, you know, the pressure to give in a frat house with the lights off in a basement. Romantic, right? Jesus Christ. The game I wasn't playing but still lost. Jesus. The crime of being alive, the crime of catching your eye. God damn it. You know what I mean? It's almost like, you know, it's almost like this punishment to be pretty or to be attractive, because then more attention is like upon you. You know what I mean? It's equivalent to a crime of just being alive. The crime of catching your attention. Because now I've caught your attention. Now you are a problem to me. Again, the perspective of this doesn't really happen to the male side of the house. You know what I mean? Shout out to our gay friends out there, though. I know what I'm holding it down. I know. I hear you loud and clear. I know. It happens to y'all too. Not being meek and polite and smiling back at you. Like, if I don't automatically be pleasant to you, then what? I'm a bitch, right? Again, crazy work. Like I said, women understand this perspective because women have been through it. Guys don't even think about it because you're all thinking about it from your perspective. You know what I mean? Like this idea of walking a mile in somebody else's shoes, it doesn't happen a lot. And I feel like guys definitely don't do this a lot for when it comes to the experience of women. It's a difficult thing to try to put yourself in a position that you're like nowhere even close to even walking. You know what I mean? It's like polar opposites. The crime of being alive, the crime of catching your eye, because now I've caught your attention. I have to be nice to you, because if I'm not nice to you, guess what now? Why you acting like that? I have to smile back at you. What? Oh, well, now all of a sudden she's interested. Half a block from home, my scarlet letter, your stones. God damn it, man. Yeah, because now, like with the continuation of the story that we're being told in here is like now that, you know, why not? We gave in, it happened, and now what? I'm just the scarlet letter of the neighborhood. You know what I mean? So like it's almost like in the women's situation, there is no winning. There is no, none of this is positive for them, no matter what the situation or outcome is, right? The pointless blood they drew, a split second of judgment, and I'm still being punished. Like, again, moving on with life, it's just another day in the neighborhood for the average guy, right? You're not even thinking about all this trauma you've just put onto another person, but now that woman and that person is going to carry that for forever now. All right. We're caught up on it. Like I said, there was a lot to unpack, and we had to kind of go lyric for lyric with this one.
The color's gone, but I still have the...
All right, let me cook a little bit, though. Let me go back farther.
The color's gone, but I still have the bruise, still peeling parts of me from the sole of your shoe. I can't make sense of it. Were you born with wickedness, or was it taught to you? My sin was that you couldn't own me, through a tantrum like you're owed me, like I'm worthless, like I'm fashioned out of your rib. Did I pay for evils of another, for the harsh words of your mother and your verdict? What I do to deserve this? I'm still lost. The crime of being alive, the crime of catching your eye, not being meek and polite and smiling back at you. The crime of walking alone, half a block from home, my scarlet letter, your stones, the pointless blood they drew, a split second of judgment, and I'm still being punished. The crime of being a woman. It's like a rock in my stomach, the crime that's never unpunished, the crime of being a woman.
This video is created by an entirely female casting crew. That's really cool that they were able to do that as well. I thought the video concept was really great, and how it changes individuals throughout the whole thing, but it basically shows that it's like, you know, no matter who it is, it's the same experience, right? That this is the every woman experience, not this the sum. It is the many, right? Like I said, not every single woman out there has been a victim of assault this way, but it happens a lot more frequently than you think. You know what I mean? And it's like one of those difficult realities when you sit there and you think about it. And I sit there and I've thought about this from the perspective of like, you know, when you hear like one group of people talk about it and then you hear the other group of like how it is, it's like you're almost hearing both sides of the story, and you put the whole puzzle picture together. You know what I mean? And it's like the sad reality of what that really looks like. All right, let's get into the other half of these lyrics, because I think that there was more to unpack here. When she was talking about the color's gone, but I still have the bruise. It basically, again, like this, it stays with you, even though, like, you know, there's no visible signs anymore. The bruise is still there underneath, right? It's still deep within you. Still peeling parts of me from the sole of your shoe. I can't make sense of it. Were you born with wickedness, or was it taught to you? There's let's keep going because she ties that together. My sin was that you couldn't own me. Threw a tantrum like you were owed me, like I'm worthless, like I'm fashioned out of your rib. That very much ties together to a very much like very specific ideology of like the Adam and Eve thing, right? Where, because, you know, I get to own you now. My sin was that you couldn't own me. You threw a tantrum because, you know, when people throw tantrums, they know me what? They're trying to get their way of something. So because I wasn't comfortable and you wanted to have sex, now all of a sudden you're angry and frustrated, and that's my fault. You know what I mean? Because I'm not giving you what you want. Like I am worthless. I am nothing but this to you. Like almost like I'm a toy. Like I'm fashioned out of your rib. Did I pay for evils of another? Is this because somebody else hurt you? Are you hurting me now? Or is this just, again, like, you know, tying back to, is this just something you're born with? Or did somebody teach you how to be this way? You know, is this really what your father taught you how to treat people? You know what I mean? And your mom, same thing. Is this how you were taught to treat people? In a very selfish perspective, right? That's all about you and what you want, right? Did I pay for the evils of another, for the harsh words of your mother? Do you got mommy issues? Do you hate women because you hated your mom? You know what I mean? A lot of times it stems from that too, with like relationships, like, you know, where difficult relationships where boys will have with their moms, and now they take it out on every other woman in the entire world, and every woman's a bitch because you hated mom. In the verdict, where I do what in your verdict, what did I do to deserve this? Again, that's kind of bringing back the more the humanity of it too, right? It's like, what did I do to deserve this? Because like, why would you hurt me this way? I'm still lost. The crime of being alive. The crime of catching your eye. I really like the way that they tie that together with the way that they've written this out with the lyrics and the chorus, with the crime of catching your eye, because I feel like that's a very like really great descriptive way of like, it's my fault that I caught your attention. You know what I mean? Like I brought this on myself because I just existed. You know what I mean? It sits like a rock in my stomach, the crime that's never unpunished, the crime of being a woman. Basically, you're gonna be punished to live a life of that, a life of suffering, if you are just a woman in general, right? I would say when I hear something like this and I read something like this and like just look at these lyrics, the crime of being a woman. There's no song out there, there's no book out there that is talking about woe is me, it's so hard being a man. You know what I mean? We're gonna be punished just because we're a boy. You know what I mean? It's just not the reality. And I feel like that's a lot of times like what makes me think about why we do these songs in the first place is because it's just all about perspective. When you hear artist after artist and you hear these stories coming from all walks and shapes of life, from not even the same parts of the world, just literally all over the world, and the stories are the same, how could you not recognize that maybe there is still something going on with this? You know what I mean? But at the same time, nobody's having these discussions. Nobody is being taught these things. Nobody's even like really bringing these conversations, I think, really to the forefront of anything, because it's not beneficial for guys. You know what I mean? If it's not beneficial for us, why would we highlight it? And why would we showcase it? You know what I mean? Why would we draw more attention to an issue that doesn't affect us? You know what I mean? But I feel like I said, it's something to listen to, and something to pay attention to when half of our population shares the same sorrow. You know what I mean? And then it's fucked up because it just seems like it's almost like so obvious to me, because we were all taught in many ways to just basically treat others with respect and treat others how you'd want to be treated. You know what I mean? But practicing what you're preaching is also a different thing. You got to walk a mile in those shoes of what you are actually talking about. You know what I mean? It's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to do it. And I think there's a lot of people out there that would think, "Oh, I would never do these things. I would never harm. Who are all these guys out here that are assaulting women?" Well, sometimes it's the person who asked them the question, where it's like, you know, that one time where you did X, Y, and Z, and you did all this and you did that and all that, and you pressured so and so. Maybe they didn't really want that. You know what I mean? And again, like, you know, perspective is everything. You know what I mean? And I think it's difficult a lot of times for guys to maybe understand and look at yourself in the mirror to be able to understand that maybe once upon a time, maybe you did do the wrong thing, that you weren't always perfect about this. That doesn't make you a shitty person, but it also needs, you know, you gotta own up to the things that you've done, I guess. You know what I mean? And just recognize that what you did yesterday doesn't have to be what you do tomorrow. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to apologize for anybody either. I think it's also part of the idea is, if you ask anybody out there, then ask any guy, they would all say the same thing, that they would never do this. So who are these men? And these 1 in 3. Who are these 1 in 3 men? They are your bro. They are your buddy. They are the guy that you fucking drink beers with and go golfing with and shit like that, man. One of those guys has done it. You know what I mean? If not you. You know what I'm saying? Or you could have been the not realized it. You know what I mean? If there's one thing I've always appreciated from getting requests like this, and I definitely want to thank Mo one last time for bringing this one to the channel, is like, I feel like it's always an opportunity to talk about just trying to love one another a little bit better than we think that we are. You know what I mean? And just try to treat our fellow humans with a little bit more kindness. You know what I mean? Because the world's already a pretty dark place, and the realities of the world are pretty sad. But if this can help one person out there understand or feel a little less alone, or at least one person, like from a guy's perspective, help one person have a little bit of, you know, a better perspective on the situation, through the art of a song this way. I feel like that's what the point of it is, right? I feel like music is an art form, and art is always supposed to be where all things and matters of life are supposed to be discussed. So I feel like that's exactly what this is today. It got me talking quite a bit. And yeah, definitely appreciate Maul again for bringing this one to the channel. And I think that's all I got for this one, friends. Make sure you let me know in the comments the next song you'd like for me to cover. And yeah, appreciate Maul. Be kind to a stranger. Tell somebody you love them. If you haven't joined the Foxtrot family, there's always room.